Welcome back, dearies, to Sinfully Desilicious. In continuation with the chaat theme, after my previous post, Pav Bhaji and its fusion versions is on with this week's post, Ragda Patties. What's Ragda Patties? Ragda refers to the curry made from dried white peas, otherwise known as Safed vatana in Hindi, which pairs with crispy fried potato cakes, patties, topped with chaat chutneys, onion, coriander leaves, save, and lemon juice. A cocktail of flavors burst in your mouth when you take a bite from it. Sweet, spicy, savoury, tangy flavors with crispy, crunchy, smooth textures. This Maharashtrian Gujarati street food can be compared to North Indian Aloo Tikki Chole chaat. Both are potato patties served with Ragda in West and Chole in North. This recipe can be partitioned into two steps. First comes the preparation of Ragda from white peas, and second comes the preparation of patties from the boiled mashed potatoes. Let's dive into the recipe with the first preparation of Ragda. Soaking white peas for minimum 10 hours to a maximum of 12 hours is mandatory as it enables quick cooking and easy digestion. After given the soaking time, discard the soaked water and add fresh water till it gets immersed along with salt, turmeric powder, Kashmiri chili powder, asafoetida powder, and pressure cook it for at least 10 whistles or more depending on the quality of the peas. After the pressure settles, open and check if the peas are cooked. If you feel it's undercooked, close it and give more whistles. The right stage to cook peas is when you crush it with your finger, it should turn smooth and squash easily. Then you can partially mash with a potato masher. It helps to get a thicker consistency for Ragda. Let's start the Ragda preparation by heating a pan with oil. Temper with cumin seeds, carom seeds. Once it sizzles, add the coarsely ground onion paste. To prepare the onion paste, take a big onion, chop roughly and just pulse it in the mixer a few times. Actually, Mumbai street style Ragda will be blunt with minimal spices. I like my Ragda with an extra kick of spices as I can manipulate the excess or leftover Ragda to pair with rotis, dosas as accompaniments. After the onion turns golden brown, add ginger garlic paste, saute till raw smell goes off. Later add store-bought tomato paste. It gives an intense color and flavor to the curry. You can skip adding it or replace it with homemade paste made from blanched, peeled, ground, strained thick tomato puree from ripened tomatoes. Alternatively, you can try with tomato ketchup, but make sure you increase the spices to cut down the sweetness of the ketchup. Later add turmeric powder, Kashmiri chili powder, coriander powder, cumin powder, garam masala powder, fennel powder, green chutney and jaggery. Stir it well and add 2 cups of water. The green chutney I used here is the chaat chutney, for which the recipe link I have shared in the description box. You can also prepare this Ragda for Jain Sattvic food in a subtle way by excluding onion garlic and increasing the tomato paste for the curry base. Here I made this Ragda with half kg of white peas, as you can make various chaats with it. Here in this recipe, apart from making Ragda patties, I have shown how to assemble Ragda Samosa and Ragda Puri, thus making a 3-in-1 recipe with one curry base. After adding the mashed peas along with water, close the lid and allow it to cook in medium flame for 5 minutes to get rid of the raw smell of the spices. Then open the lid and simmer for another 5 minutes or till you get the desired consistency. It should neither be too thin nor too thick. Since we partially squashed the peas, it helps to thicken the curry. Now switch off the flame and add some lemon juice. Now let's get into the second step of this recipe, that is the preparation of patties. You can cook the potatoes either in a steamer or pressure cooker. I always prefer steamer as it absorbs less water and cooks the potatoes perfectly. If you are using a pressure cooker, use little water to boil. After it reaches the fork tender stage, strain it and mash it. Fork tender is the stage when you poke with a fork, it should easily pass through the potato and break it as well. If you steam the potatoes in the steamer, then immediately mash them when it is hot. If you cook them in a pressure cooker, let them cool down a bit to dry the excess moisture, then mash them. Then add Kashmiri chili powder, kasuri methi which is dry fenugreek leaves, dry mint leaves, coriander leaves, corn flour, breadcrumbs, black salt and dry mango powder along with salt. Indeed, Mumbai street style patties are less spiced, but I prefer my patties this way. I would like to add another tip to my Jain viewers. You can still make these patties with raw banana or plantain, which is a good starchy substitute for potatoes. Trust me, you will never miss the treat. After mixing the spices together thoroughly, make a soft dough from the mashed potatoes and roll balls out of it. Then flatten it into disc shapes, again dust with breadcrumbs. Similarly, do the same for the rest of the dough. Dusting with breadcrumbs is an optional step, but doing so will help to add an extra crispy texture to the patties. To make your job easier, you can prepare these patties few days or a day before assembling. You can roll the prepared spiced potato dough, flatten it with breadcrumbs, arrange them on a plate and cover with cling film to avoid getting dried, or layer it in an airtight box with butter paper in between to avoid sticking. Store these patties in the freezer and defrost it on the day of preparing the chaat. Shallow fry them in a pan till you get golden brown patties with a crispy texture. If you are diet conscious, toast them on a tawa with very little oil or even air fry them. Now let's get into the next ingredient preparation, which is the spice mix. A combo of red chili powder, cumin powder, black salt, dry mango powder and chaat masala. If you don't have black salt and dry mango powder, you can increase the chaat masala powder to balance the taste. If you don't even have the chaat masala powder, forget it, just add the red chili powder and cumin powder. The remaining component needed for this recipe are the chaat chutneys and the garnishing ingredients. Don't get panicked seeing the number of ingredients. It's all available in your kitchen pantry. All the chutneys, ragda and patties can be prepared prior and stored in refrigerator or freezer and defrosted on the day of assembling the chaat. It needs only proper planning and an efficient breakdown of the process. It will be handy and definitely a crowd pleaser in your kitty parties, get together or when you have surprise guests. Now we are seeing the assembling of Ragda patties. Here I didn't mention the quantity of chutneys, ragda or garnishing ingredients added. No hard and fast rule. It all depends upon your requirements and taste. Even if you don't have raw mango, you can skip it or replace it with finely chopped cucumber, but both have their unique taste and presence. Only thing mandatory while assembling the chaat is ragda and patties have to be hot or warm to enjoy the delicacy. Finally, squeeze lemon or simply place a lemon wedge while serving. Your lip-smacking Ragda patties is ready to serve. As I promised early, this is a 3-in-1 recipe with the same curry base. Now I'm going to take you to another recipe, which is the Ragda Samosa using the same curry base, the ragda. Keep all the chutneys, ragda, store-bought samosa, spice mix, garnishing ingredients on the kitchen counter for assembling. Take a serving plate, break the samosa into pieces. Then add enough warm ragda to cover it, add some onion to it. Drizzle all the 3 chaat chutneys as per your requirement. I have shared the recipe link for all these 3 chaat chutneys in the description box given below. Now add the garnishing ingredients such as finely chopped tomatoes, onion, finely chopped coriander leaves and raw mango. Then sprinkle some spice mix and chaat safe. Again, when coming to the quantity of ingredients added, I leave it to your choice. Again, add all the 3 chutneys, namely the sweet dates tamarind chutney, green chutney which is the mint coriander chutney, and the red chutney which is the garlic or lazunki chutney. By adding these chutneys again, it's absolutely chatpata, that is burst of flavors in your mouth. Are you ready to relish the tantalizing Ragda Samosa? Now comes the final chaat variation with the same Ragda base is the Ragda Puri. Similarly, arrange all the required ingredients on the kitchen counter for the assembling. Take a serving plate, arrange the chaat puris, make a hole in the center of the puri. Take a puri, fill in with ragda, then all the 3 chaat chutneys, then with chopped onion, finely chopped tomato, raw mango, coriander leaves, and finally with save and spice mix. Similarly, fill the rest of the puris in the same pattern. Whip thick curd with sugar, then drizzle the sweetened thick curd on top of the puris. If you are a vegan or lactose intolerant, feel free to skip this step. Then add all the 3 chutneys as per your requirement. When you prepare this chaat chutneys, you can always double or triple the portion as it has a long life in the freezer. Especially for working people, it becomes handy when it lies in the freezer compartments. Maintain a thick consistency while you grind and stew. You can always dilute it with water and make it thin while using it for chaat preparation. Finally, top up with all the garnishing ingredients and serve immediately the delicious crunchy bite of Ragda Puri. If you are familiar with my previous post pav bhaji, you must have encountered pav bhaji fondue, bhaji club sandwich, bhaji ragi dosa in my fusion land. The fusion continues in this recipe as well, but it needs a little wait. As this post is already loaded with 3 recipes, I prefer to make an episode 2 for this Ragda fusion, which keeps you intrigued the entire week. But I assure you it will be worth the wait. Don't forget to visit my kitchen secret page on my website, which saves you when you're puzzled with leftovers and make you awestruck with its variation and fusions. For other chaat recipes like sev puri chaat, dahi puri, dahi papri, visit my website Sinfully Desilicious. When I discovered cooking, I discovered myself. So can you.